Hello. My name is Marcus McCurry from Reliance Rail International. And I guess my question is for the entire panel. Are there any plans for rail infrastructure in the freight industry and in the passenger industry?
Railway plans?
Maybe I can take the lead on that. We have, of course, the very large project of Etihad Rail, which we're all looking very much forward to, which initially is going to focus on freight. There's been some uncertainty whether it was postponed or delayed. The largest update I have is that it will carry on. It will now be more a private and government partnership rather than only run by government. And the aim is still to have the first part of it complete before 2020. But I have to say, this is second-hand, my information. I don't have a final up-to-date. We as Gulftainer, we would like to be involved in it, not probably as an owner, but as part of the chain. So we want to have the rails connecting our terminals in Sharjah if possible, but definitely in Khor, as well as our logistics center, SICD, and in Sharjah. And then, of course, from there out to the rest of the GCC countries, which again brings back the other thing about we need harmonization of especially the VAT, which is coming up, because today you often see that if you're doing it by truck, you often have a waiting time of 72 hours, 96 hours before all the facilities are done. Now imagine if that was a train and it came to the border and it sat for 4 days, it wouldn't be economically viable. So we need to make sure whatever we do with import duty and VAT and documentation, the border crossings, both between the Emirates and the UAE, but also for GCC, they must work. I don't know if that answers your question, but.
Has the rail been the under-neglected part of the logistics puzzle here, do you feel? And could that be changing?
It is changing. The only place in GCC where you really have rail is between Dammam and Hamriyah. Otherwise, there's no real rail here.
Other questions? Yes, here.
Hello, my name is Atif, and I am from the Al-Sharqi group, which is heavily invested in forwarding, logistics, 3PL. It's a two-part series to my question. One part is, what's free zone perspective on dispute acting as an arbitrage for dispute resolution? Do we have any policy as such? And the second question is, like for instance, for forwarding, in free zone itself, it's more catering towards trading company, but on forwarding, there is a little lack of clarity on the infrastructure of whether a 3PL can be a forwarding. So there is like a forwarding company cannot hold a license or cannot get a space for warehousing. So is there any clarity on that infrastructure? Thank you.
Regarding the logistics, last year we changed our policy with regard to logistic companies and their activities. From the logistics centers perspective, in the UAE today, most of the free zones and in the local market, it has to be owned 51-49% when it comes to logistic ownership, which will have all the activities related to logistics centers like forwarding and chartering and so on. What we did in the free zone, we opened that segment for any company to own the company 100%. We just recently, last year, opened this sector. It's much easier and any investor can own it 100%. And they can operate whether in Hamriyah free zone or safe zone. But it's not as difficult. It would have been difficult 2 years ago. But from last year, we started opening this segment. And we started getting logistic companies from different Emirates and also from abroad that already started setting up their units. We have Kingston, they started a new logistics center in safe zone, around 10,000 square meter. It's now operating and they're working with several third-party logistics centers together. I hope that answers your question. And also Hamriyah, we started doing the same. Whatever difficulties you might have, I assure you that we will help you make sure you do your business there.